Now, to launch this discussion, the future of travel writing, I'd like to put up a bit of a provocation that as the world globalizes, as everywhere sort of becomes potentially in danger of being like everywhere else, that it could be argued that travel writing is either an exercise in nostalgia or else a kind of a panicked adventure trying to race around the globe and scrape up whatever last fragments of culture and traditional society that are left. And with that provocation, I guess I'd put it to you first, Cameron. Now, in your book, you travelled 45,000 kilometres, the length of the American continent, retracing the path of the Mennonite diaspora from Europe to the Americas. And you give yourself, I guess, a quest, and I think Sophie does this too, to avoid that kind of what am I doing here travel book. You give yourself a quest, and your quest is about reclaiming or rediscovering a Mennonite identity. So I want to ask you, why do you think it's so important in the 21st century, this want we have to reach out and connect with our roots and discover an identity as you have in your book?
I think it's important because it's something that we've been seeing a lot in Hong Kong. I think this idea of identity and which parts of our identity we choose to own. And for me, that was very much part of the journey, was knowing I'm Mennonite and wanting to learn more about that, but then learning that there's a lot of parts of my cultural identity that I necessarily don't feel a lot of kinship with or a lot of ownership of, and other things that I saw that would be like, oh yeah, that's really me. And I think it kind of is symbolic or speaks about the complexity of our identities these days. I mean, with cross-cultural, migration and intermarriage and all this, people's identities have become more interesting or more complex, perhaps. And so I think it's quite interesting because you look into that and pick and choose the bits that you want to own of your own kind of cultural or ethnic story.
That's interesting, isn't it? That it's no longer something that's automatically conferred on you. It's something that's potentially discovered, which I guess sets the 21st century apart from what's gone before. But, well, Sophie, can I put it to you? You also start your book with a quest, and your quest begins when you're in Mongolia and there's a certain talented young pianist who has a particular feeling for Bach, not only the kind of the notes and chords, but the religious feeling of the music. And there's a feeling that her playing could be improved if she found just the right piano, which would suit her style, and also herself and the landscape that she's in. And that sends you on a quest to discover the lost pianos of Siberia. So can I ask you the broad and big question to start off with, why pianos? Can we hear Sophie? Sorry, Sophie, we just...
Can you hear me?
Yep. I can now, yes.
So thank you very much for having me. The reason for searching for pianos in Siberia is a little curious, and I suppose it was the power of the unexpected that drew me into the whole idea. It was a phrase I heard in the Orkhon Valley in Mongolia, the lost pianos of Siberia, from somebody who knew a lot more about music than me, and indeed about history. And when I dug into that phrase, I discovered that Russia had, just across the border, of course, from where I was in Mongolia, had this extraordinary affair with the instrument, with the piano, over the course of the 19th and 20th centuries. And that instrument was taken over the Ural Mountains into this vast expanse covering an 11th of the world's land surface, long before there was a railway. So what love and passion inspired people to drag these unwieldy instruments so far and so deep into that territory, I found very compelling. So I looked at, you asked at the beginning about this kind of globalized, commoditized aspect that we now have to the travel genre, to the travel experience. The idea of searching for a lost piano in Siberia for a Mongolian friend filled me with the kind of poetry and if you like, the unexpected that I need in order to move and do what I do, which is report and write and empathise with stories that are not my own.